What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Wickard Acres. My name is Dirk, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about all the decisions that I made when it comes to spray foam. I'm going to talk about who installed it, what thicknesses I ended up going with on the wall and on the ceiling, when he installed this, the rough location of where he installed this, kind of time of year, why I made those decisions, and then ultimately how much everything cost me. The gentleman you're watching spray foam onto the ceiling right now, his name is Jose. Jose came highly recommended by Paul from Mr. Postframe. Jose is based out of Winterset, Iowa. You can see more of Jose's work over on Mr. Postframe's channel and also Ryan Knorr's channel. There are two types of spray foam. You have open cell spray foam and closed cell spray foam. I ended up going with closed cell spray foam. And the reason why is because of the structural rigidity it adds to the building and also the moisture barrier that you get when using it. This was my second experience with getting spray foam installed in a building. I had, at our previous house, we had a 45 by 45 post frame building like this, that I wanted to insulate the ceiling, but the trusses were built back in the 70s, and so there wasn't building a ceiling in the shop and then putting insulation up on top of that ceiling wasn't an option because the trusses wouldn't hold. So I ultimately found out about spray foam and looked into it, and I talked to the spray foam guy and I asked, hey, could you spray it right to the bottom of the bottom of the steel? And he said, oh yeah, we do that all the time and shouldn't be any issues at all. So I had him do 2 inches of spray foam onto the ceiling, and I was shocked at how well it kept the cold out in the wintertime and the summer and the heat out in the summer. You could go up there, it could be a negative 20-degree day, and I had a wood stove out there, so I'd have that wood stove going super hot, and you could go up there and touch that 2 inches of foam on the ceiling sprayed directly to the steel, and it would be the same temperature on the inside of as whatever the inside of the building was. You wouldn't feel any of that cold at all. So armed with that previous experience in my old shop, I knew that I could save a little bit of money by just going 2 inches on the ceiling, or 2 inches on the bottom side of the steel, and then 3 inches on all the walls. So I knew I wanted 3 everywhere, but I couldn't afford it because it was too expensive. So I made a compromise. I said, let's just do 3 inches on the wall and 2 inches on the ceiling, because 2 inches is where you also get a vapor barrier. So it should seal out any moisture from working its way through. And I've had that installed now all winter, and it performed exactly how my old shop did. You can go up, I went up there it got down to negative 40 one night. I was like, I'm gonna go up there and feel how my spray foam feels on the ceiling. Went up there and touched it, and it was the same temperature as the inside of the building. The stuff is amazing. Got a little gap there, but he'll get it squirted in and filled up. Here's the spot here. But yeah, 3 inches on the walls, and getting a little on the concrete. Make sure that's folded back. Yeah, I highly recommend that if you get somebody who's going to come in and spray foam, and they're not going to cover the floor for you, I'd find a different person. Because man, there is just these little BBs of spray foam everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's a messy, messy job. So it's getting into the low 40s at night, and before you'd kind of feel a little bit of coolness coming in and you can go up and touch that wall and it would feel cool, but wherever there's that spray foam now, it just feels amazing. It adds, there's a value of structural rigidity that it adds to a building too. And you can go out on the outside of the building and push on the metal where there isn't spray foam, and then push on the metal where the spray foam is. And it just feels that much more rigid because of that structural backing behind it. I think if anybody's on the fence about the price of spray foam, I think that's the only negative to it, but I feel like you need to look at it as in a long-term investment, and getting that money, recouping that money over the years where it's taking less to heat, and using less fuel in the wintertime and less electricity to cool your building in the summertime. So that's where you really get your money back out of it. So it's definitely a long-term investment. So if you're going to build your building and then sell it in a couple of years, yeah, maybe just go fiberglass. But if you're planning on being there a long time, I would highly recommend spray foam. And even I was talking to the spray foam guy, Jose, he says it's really hard when you're looking up at the spray foam as you're squirting it out to get exactly 2 inches. So I paid for 2, but he's like, my mask gets filled up and I can't hardly, if I don't stop and clean it off, he's like, I could have 3 inches, I could have 3.5 inches up there really easily and not realize it until I clean my mask off, you know what I mean? So you definitely should maybe just have them spray 2 inches, and odds are they're gonna probably spray a little more than that. So let's take the old lift up. Also, this is another potential if you let somebody borrow your lift who's gonna be spray foaming, it's gonna get super dirty. Super dirty. Okay, so here we are up in the ceiling. And I mean, you can just tell this is some hard stuff. And then out here on the wall, it's just awesome. They did a good job taping up all the windows and everything. And so you can kind of see here, we were concerned about not being able to run wiring and stuff like that, but I've still got this much meat to be able to run wires against on the columns. Same like this right here. There's a lot of room in there to be able to run all your wiring and not have any issues. You just kind of keep it out towards the front of the column, and it'll work out really good, because that spray foam only comes out, to right there, and then right there wherever 3 inches is. So you got quite a bit of space there to run wiring. All right, guys, how do I look? So what I want to do is I want to paint all of the spray foam white. So you can kind of see I just did a little test piece over there. I also want to paint all my trusses white, and just it'll brighten everything up. It'll protect the foam from UV, because over time UV rays will break down the foam, cause it to darken, won't look as good over the years. So that protects it. It also gives it just a little bit of fireproofing. Just, you know, having that layer of paint on there makes it a little less flammable. So I've got my sprayer out, my scissor lift. I wanted the one with the hood, but we didn't get that one somehow. So I'm gonna take you along. I'm gonna set you up on time lapse here, and we'll get you going. All right, so here's the finished paint on the ceiling and on the trusses. Look, doesn't that look so much better than that yellow and that dirty brown? Those trusses had sit in the out in the dirt for about a month and a half, and they they made it through a couple of rains, so there was some dirt washed on it and all that. So I had to take a broom and clean off all the dirt before I sprayed it, and ultimately really glad that I did that. And so now my plan is I'm just going to leave this whole ceiling open truss design, because I have that that spray foam installed right on the ceiling. It's basically like a giant cooler in here, an igloo cooler, and all the heat stays in the winter time. This winter I work remote sit at a computer all day, and I had my computer set up out here in the shop, and I had the in-floor heat set at 68 degrees, and I was out here in shorts and flip-flops all winter long. That's with 4 garage door openings. There's 3 16-foot by 8 foots and 1 16-foot by 12-foot door. Check it out, guys. All this spray foam in. 3 inches. It is pretty amazing. Still has this back wall to do. So it's Saturday night. He thinks he's going to be able to get all of this and all of that done for tomorrow, which is Sunday. So Sunday, October 9th it'll be. Today's October 8th. And then once spray foam is done, I'm going to put that garage door in, then that one, and I'm going to end on that one because that's the biggest and I'm guessing is going to be the hardest to make work. So, got all the foam painted on the ceiling. You can kind of see that. Looks so much better painted than that yellow stuff. But the biggest thing was to paint all these trusses because they sat in the mud for about 2 months. So got all those painted, and it's gonna be super bright in here now. They look better. They don't have mud stains on them. And yeah, super pumped. Super pumped. So you can see here, he's filling up this cavity, right? So this is the bottom inside girt. He'll fill all that up with spray foam. There's the pink foam that goes down below the concrete. And it gets filled up like this over here. I'll come over and show you. So you can see here, he's got all this filled up. And we got 3 inches of foam. So wherever there is these girts on the outside wall, that has to come out here this way 3 inches. So right about there probably. But I mean, this stuff is solid. It is awesome. So super happy with what he's got done and how everything looks. It is going to be one tight building. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below what you think. Follow Mr. Postframe on everything and Mrs. Postframe. And also go check out my TikTok, my Instagram, and go ahead and follow those because I post content on there throughout the day and throughout the week. So if you want a little bit of a sneak peek about what I'm making, what kind of videos I'm making and what I'm doing, follow those and you'll be able to get that sneak peek preview of what's going on. So see you on the next one.